Yo, what up? It's DJ Sketch. Playing some more Titanfall 2. This is the second weekend of the multiplayer tech tests, beta, pre-alpha, whatever you want to call it. And from that intro clip, I think it already kind of answers the question some of you might have already been getting prepared to ask is, if you're playing a game called Titanfall, why don't you play the mode with the Titans? That intro clip is a big reason why. I mean, for real, like, honestly, that wasn't the first time that happened. There was actually several times when getting the Titan, start running around, maybe start putting in some work, maybe not, and then lo and behold, all of a sudden I get fucking shit on from the skies above by someone calling their Titan in right on top of me. Is it an accident? Is I not sure if you could do that in the first game, but that's honestly, that never happened to me in Titanfall 1, so I thought that was kind of amusing. Not really when I was like on the way to getting, I think that actually I'm pretty sure we lost that bounty hunter match, but whatever, that's aside from the point. But you know, I had a good time playing this, and really before I cast any stones of judgment, I wanted to play both weekends to see if they were going to change up anything significantly or not. And there was a few things that changed, and there was some good, some bad, and overall, you know, it was decent. I had a really good time playing it over the weekend. Like, I actually, like, you know, like, there's fun to be had with Titanfall 2, I can see that, but definitely there's also some pretty major issues with it too. But obviously this is a test run, this is a whatever they want to call it level build, even though the release date they have on it right now is the end of October, which honestly for them, like, depending on like how much more there is to offer in this game, because that's pretty much what killed Titanfall 1, is like there was really not enough content, especially from on the release. Like, there was barely anything. It was a great idea, but there just wasn't content early enough to kind of carry it through the cycle before people just stopped talking about it. And then it ended up giving away pretty much the entire game's expansions for free. They gave that shit away, I guess not even 2 years later. So if they want to avoid that, I would say, like, just pretty much like the way they had those the 3 expansions, like, pretty much give them one right at the off. That might keep people interested. But also with the issues being as they are with this build in particular, there's still no three weapon loadouts, which again is kind of a step backwards from Titanfall 1. The Titans in this, like, honestly, I played more of the pilot versus pilot mode than armed hardpoint, or amped hardpoint, excuse me, and the bounty hunter mode, because with the Titans, like, the Scorch one was tight and the Ion one was tight, but they both felt kind of weak. Like, honestly, once you got a Titan, you really were pretty much getting kicked out of that thing within about a minute or two, unless you were just really had a good grasp on how your Titan's weapons worked. Because if you're still kind of struggling once you got in the cockpit, you were kind of fucked, because you'll be out of it in less than a minute. And which brings me to another point. The first Titanfall pretty much had everything on a timer, to where you always got a Titan no matter what. This game, they took that feature away, also kind of a step backwards in my eyes, to where sometimes you were getting Titans at all. Even in these, like, even in the amped hardpoint and the bounty hunter mode, like, honestly, like, it was more skill based. So if you were getting more kills, capping more objectives, you were getting your Titans faster. But then there were some people that weren't getting them at all, which is part of the patch that they rolled out, I guess, on the first day of the second weekend of this test. And, you know, like, that's another thing. It's pretty much the emphasis on the game is right there in the title. It's called Titanfall 2. So it's weird that this kind of feels like it should have been the first game. Honestly, this is like an opinion that I also heard someone else have. And when I actually like played through this again and like kind of like pay a little more attention, it really does feel like Titanfall 1 was the sequel to Titanfall 2 and not the other way around. And so I know that, again, this is an early build, so I mean, I'll still give it a chance when it comes out. Like, am I gonna pay full retail price for it? I'm not quite sure yet. I mean, I would hope that either they would do a beta test or do something else prior to the release, just so people that are kind of on the fence, like myself, can see that they've taken the feedback and they've re-implemented it back into the game, you know, and tried to make it better by what the people that were testing it had to tell them. So I'm not gonna sit here and like bash this game because I think it's got a lot of potential. But I just want to see some things get taken care of, which there are a few things that really need to get sorted out. And as far as like graphically, like I really never encountered any bugs or anything, and like the game only crashed on me once, which again they said it was probably going to at some point. So I mean that was all pretty standard. Graphically, I mean honestly this feels more like Battlefield. It really reminds me more of the DICE engine than the engine they used in the previous Titanfall. Like it just does. Like the movement, I guess the actual movement animations and everything, it feels different than the first game. It really does. And that, like obviously the weapons, like that was another glaring issue about Titanfall 1. I think there was if not under 10, just barely over 10 weapons at your disposal. This one, I think also just in this build, I think had almost the same amount, if not more weapons than Titanfall 1. So they're going a step in the right direction there. But also some of these weapons are ridiculously overpowered. Looking at you, the R201, pretty much the no recoil laser fucking rifle, which I use constantly in this game, and also what was it? The Kraber. Like if you could actually line up your shots and actually hit people, you could dominate with that, especially that and the double take. But then you get the Titan weapon, the anti-Titan weapons. Some of those felt weaker than others. Like pretty much the launcher was the way to go. Honestly, that had the most DPS. And yeah, I mean there's a lot of things to like about this test run, but also there was a lot of things to dislike too. But I'm still kind of more 60-40 in regard to I'm still interested, so I'm gonna end up picking this up, I believe. And I want to see really what Respawn is gonna do to try to make this a better experience for everyone. Thanks again for checking out the vid, people, and I'll see you on the next one.